Title: The Weight of Assumptions. The late afternoon sun hung low over the Ridgefield Business Park, casting long, harsh shadows across the near-empty parking lot. Heat radiated off the blacktop, turning the surface into a shimmering expanse of distorted reflections. The air was thick, oppressive with humidity, making every breath feel like it dragged through water. Darius Thomas wiped a slick sheen of sweat from his brow, his jaw set in a tight line as he leaned over the back seat of his silver Audi A7. His fingers shuffled through manila folders, stray receipts, and unopened mail. Anything that might conceal what he was searching for. His wallet. It had to be here somewhere. He had checked his briefcase twice. His suit jacket pockets? Empty. Center console? Nothing. His pulse thudded in his temples now, a persistent knock that underscored his growing frustration. Damn it, he muttered, casting a glance at his phone. 3 missed calls. His assistant, no doubt. She was probably wondering why he hadn't left for the meeting yet. He ignored the buzzing device on the passenger seat. First, he had to find that wallet. A faint hum of an engine cut through the thick air. Darius straightened instinctively, catching sight of a patrol car idling at the far edge of the lot. The Ridgefield Police Department logo was painted in bold lettering across its door. The cruiser rolled in slowly, not in a hurry, but deliberate, watchful. Darius's fingers stiffened around the doorframe of his car. The police car eased to a stop, tires crunching softly against the hot gravel. Then the door swung open. Heavy boots stepped out, one after the other, their rhythmic impact carrying a weight of authority. And something else. Darius exhaled through his nose, his throat tight. He'd seen this before. He knew exactly how this was going to play out. Step away from the vehicle, the officer barked. Darius turned slowly, his face impassive. His suit jacket was crisp despite the heat, his tie slightly loosened. His dark eyes met the officer's pale blue gaze and held. The cop was broad-shouldered, his build rigid beneath the uniform, his right hand hovering near his holster with unnecessary emphasis. His name tag read, Sergeant Brent Kincaid. Darius's hands rose slightly, palms open, not too fast, not too slow, just enough. Officer, he said evenly, this is my car. I'm looking for my wallet. Kincaid's lip twitched into something that wasn't quite a smile. Your car, huh? There was skepticism in his tone, dragged out like he was tasting the lie he believed he was being told. His eyes flicked over Darius's tailored suit, his polished shoes, his Patek Philippe watch. You don't look like you belong in a car like this, Kincaid remarked, his voice low and patronizing. Darius's jaw tightened. My name is Darius Thomas, he replied, his voice steady. I'm... Save it, Kincaid interrupted sharply. I don't need your life story. I need you to stop messing around and show me some ID. Darius's pulse kicked up. As I said, he began carefully, my wallet is inside the vehicle. If you'll allow me to... You think I'm an idiot? Kincaid stepped closer, the hard soles of his boots scuffing the ground. His expression twisted, brows drawing together in mock offense. You expect me to buy that story while you're elbow deep in a car that probably costs more than my annual salary? Darius could feel the shift in the air, thick with something uglier than suspicion. He'd passed suspicion 5 minutes ago. This wasn't about the car, the wallet, or whether he could produce ID. This was about power. Kincaid had made up his mind the moment he saw him. If you run the plates, Darius said carefully, you'll see the vehicle is registered to me. Kincaid let out a short, sharp laugh. Oh, sure, because car thieves always ask me to run the plates. Darius remained still, his breath even despite the pressure building inside him. His fingers twitched at his sides. My name is Darius Thomas. I'm a federal prosecutor, he stated plainly. If you verify that, federal prosecutor, Kincaid cut in, his tone now dripping with mockery. Well, that's a new one. He took another step closer. Listen to me, boy, he said, the last word hitting harder than any shove. I don't give a damn what story you're selling. All I see is a black man breaking into a car that doesn't belong to him. Darius's shoulders stiffened. His spine remained straight. This isn't necessary, he said quietly. If you'll check. Kincaid had already keyed his radio. Dispatch, I need a unit at Ridgefield Business Park. Possible vehicle theft in progress. And just like that, Darius's fate was sealed. The handcuffs came out next, cold steel biting into his wrists. Kincaid didn't hesitate. He didn't ask any more questions. He simply grabbed Darius's shoulder and shoved him forward, slamming him against the hot metal of the Audi. The sting of humiliation rose up Darius's neck, burning hotter than the summer sun. He said nothing as Kincaid patted him down with unnecessary force. This wasn't a search. It was a statement. You got anything on you I should know about? Kincaid asked, his voice casual, as if this was just routine. I am unarmed, Darius replied, Yaff clenched. Kincaid chuckled. Sure you are. Another patrol car arrived minutes later. A younger officer, fresh-faced and nervous, stepped out. Officer Jordan Blake, late 20s. His eyes flickered between Darius and Kincaid, uncertainty clouding his expression. What's going on? Blake asked. Kincaid jerked his chin at Darius. Caught this guy breaking into a car. Says he's a federal prosecutor. Lost his wallet. Sounds legit, right? Blake hesitated. Did you run the plates? Kincaid's expression hardened. Don't need to. Darius held Blake's gaze steadily. You should. There was a pause. Blake shifted uncomfortably, but said nothing. Kincaid hauled Darius toward the back of the cruiser. We're done here, Kincaid said. Darius dug his feet in slightly. You're making a mistake. Kincaid smiled, slow and cold. We'll see about that. The door slammed shut behind Darius, sealing him inside the patrol car. He watched through the window as the two officers talked in hushed tones. Blake looked uncertain. Kincaid was dismissive. Inside the cruiser, Darius closed his eyes. He'd been here before, though never like this. It wasn't over. Not yet. The harsh glare of fluorescent lights buzzed overhead in the precinct's interrogation room. Darius sat in a metal chair, wrists raw from the cuffs. His suit jacket was gone, his tie hanging loose around his neck. Across the table, Kincaid leaned back against the wall, arms folded, his smug grin still in place. You almost had me with that prosecutor line, Kincaid said lazily. Good one. Darius kept his expression neutral. All you have to do is run my name. Kincaid scoffed. See, that's the thing. You people always think you're smarter than everyone else. Darius said nothing. He'd argued cases in courtrooms with bigger bullies than this man. You really think you can talk your way out of this? Kincaid continued. Even if you're who you say, you think I'm letting you walk. You should, Darius replied calmly. Kincaid chuckled, low and bitter. Men like me don't answer to men like you. The door opened. Blake stepped inside, glancing at Darius, then Kincaid. Captain Morris wants to know if you processed his call yet. Darius spoke up. I have a right to a phone call. Kincaid ignored him at first, then sighed. Phoenix. They brought him to a phone. He dialed without hesitation. Angela, he said when the line connected. They've arrested me. Angela Moreno was one of the best defense attorneys in the state. Her voice sharpened immediately. Where? Ridgefield Precinct. I'm on my way, she said, cold steel beneath her words. Angela arrived 20 minutes later, cutting through the station like a scalpel. Her navy blue suit was immaculate. Her anger was controlled, but present. She marched into the interrogation room where Darius sat, locking eyes with him first. You okay? She asked. He nodded once. Angela turned to Kincaid. Release him. Now. Kincaid crossed his arms. And you are? Angela dropped a thick folder on the table. His attorney. That's his ID, his vehicle registration, his federal credentials. You're looking at a wrongful arrest and civil rights violation. Kincaid's smirk faltered. Then another figure filled the doorway. Captain William Morris. He was older, graying, his expression carved from stone. Kincaid, Morris said quietly. Did you run the plates? Kincaid's mouth opened, then closed. Didn't need to. You didn't need to? Morris echoed, voice dangerously calm. Run them. Now. Blake stepped out, returning moments later, his face pale. The vehicle is registered to Darius Thomas, Blake said. He's in the system. Federal prosecutor. Morris's jaw clenched. Uncuff him. Blake complied quickly. Darius rubbed his wrist for the first time. His voice was quiet but heavy. You made a mistake. Kincaid's face flushed. I did my job. No, Morris said. You didn't. Kincaid was placed on leave pending investigation. Darius was asked to join a new oversight committee for police reform. He agreed, but only if it wasn't for show. This isn't over, he told Morris. I hope not, Morris replied. Weeks later, Darius stood in a crowded church basement. He listened to stories of injustice that mirrored his own. When he spoke, his voice was steady. I got lucky, he said. Most don't. That has to change. An older man, Mr. Harmon, asked the question that mattered. What are you going to do about it? Darius didn't hesitate. Make sure it doesn't get buried. Later, Darius stood outside the Ridgefield police station, hands in his pockets. He stared up at the building, knowing one firing wasn't enough. But it was a start. He turned away, walking into the night. The fight was just beginning. Like and subscribe to hear more stories that matter. Turn on the notification bell for your daily dose of truth and hope.